I walked into my first day on the job at the studio. My first task was to go in an elevator and just do elevator duty. That's not what I signed up for, you know? I
Jeez,
signed up to
yeah.
like be an assistant. I have all this knowledge. I was doing it for like 15 minutes and then I got pretty upset and I just walked out. From that moment, I was like, all right, I'm gonna actually be a photographer. Like, I gotta do this.
We'll start. This is episode 17 of Slewniverse. Excited because of Jeremy Cohen, the homie who is a photographer. And I mean, we were just talking before getting started, but like the podcast is all about talking to creative professionals, and you also have a podcast, so you know what's up. But I think it's like photography in general, which I mean, that's your spiel, professional photographer, freelance, like especially in the city, like in like a hub of culture to document people, which I know you're into, which we'll get into. Like it's very cool because it's like sort of like a window into, you know, the world of culture. So how was that for an intro?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm excited to talk to you. Thanks for coming, man.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. It's
Yeah.
cool to, I was mentioning before, I just walked into this space and I feel inspired to create.
Hell yeah, dude. Well,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, no, it's awesome. I know like a lot of photographers also, but not probably to the scale of you where they've really like made a career out of it. And I don't want to speak for you. I mean, again, for people watching, we've never met, which is awesome. We have a bunch of mutual friends.
Internet friends now met in real life.
Yeah, which is like that's the best part of social media.
It's the beauty of the internet and
Right.
social media. Yeah.
It's like by far.
I love it. Who are some other photographer friends, you know, in New
So like
York?
Fritz is the main one. I mean,
Yeah.
Fritz and Henry, like beside people who are doing it big, like them, like make careers. But I have some other friends from college who like do it pretty seriously. But it's not like, I feel like also like you, not to put you in a box, but you've really monopolized this city. You know, like being in the biggest city in the world and documenting. It's like a different. I don't know. It's like makes you more
Yeah.
global. It's like especially with the prong of like social media attached to it.
Right. Yeah, it helps. I mean, a lot of times it doesn't matter how good of a photographer you are. There's so many amazing photographers, but you also have to know how the business works and how you can market yourself, what your work is the best.
Totally. So that's what I want to get to. I want to run it back because like, like you're just that's a really interesting conversation that I want to talk about. But like, how did you get into it? You went to SVA. You've been in the city for 10 years. But was that the agenda going to SVA is to become a photographer?
Yeah. So I got into photography when I was 15 years old on a family vacation to Yellowstone National Park.
Hell yeah.
And my dad brought a little digital point and shoot camera. He was always into gadgets. And on that trip, I was, you know, when you're a kid and you just want to stay home and play video games. That's kind of what I was like. I didn't want to go to Yellowstone National Park, even though that's an incredible trip.
I don't want to hike.
Yeah, I don't want to hike. Like that's lame. No, but I went on this trip, not that excited. And little did I know I would find my passion at the age of 15, which I'm forever grateful for. And it was when my sister borrowed my dad's camera and started taking some photos on it. And we're a year apart, year and a half. So naturally, we're just really competitive at things. And I started taking some photos, and they were pretty cool. And I got a little jealous, so I borrowed the camera, started taking some photos. I remember it had this feature on this camera that you could do this color select feature, so you could pick a color within the camera. So like green.
I remember that.
I specifically remember picking green and taking a photo in the woods, and it was like all black and white except for green.
Wait, that's crazy. I didn't
And-
know that.
Yeah, and I mean it was on. I can't even remember what
yeah.
camera it was, but I took it. I was like, this is so sick.
Yeah.
And that's when I started photography. Started to get into it. Caught the photo bug.
And I feel like that's like a very similar story. I sound like a broken record, but a lot of people have that sort of like rite of passage moment, but it's like by them for them, you know. It's not like they don't really find it in school ever or like lower middle school. It's like this situation where, you know, you make something and you get excited about it, and then that perhaps the spark, not to dramatize, you know, those moments. I'm sure it's accumulation, but
Yeah.
I like that. That's happy.
I didn't realize it while it was happening, but
Interesting,
in
right.
retrospect,
Yeah.
I could look back and be like,
Yeah.
wow, yeah, that really caught my interest. And then when I got back to Pennsylvania where I grew up, I took a film photography class.
Oh, dang.
And then I learned film photography. And,
Wow.
Yeah, which
Are you
is
still in? Do you do film now?
I shoot a little bit of film.
Yeah.
I love film.
Right.
But I prefer digital because of how efficient it is. And
Yeah.
I shoot a lot, and
Yeah,
I like to. I think I prefer to have a more efficient workflow, being able to take more photos.
Yeah, the run and gun
It's just
master.
it's just a different process. But I'm very run and gun in New York.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't want to. I want to be able to test out different lighting situations and not have to guess or use my best judgment.
Mhm. Yeah,
with
no,
film,
totally.
it's just a whole different thing.
It totally is.
And-
It's like a dance.
Mm-hmm. It is like a dance.
I've gotten into it kind of like I have the Mamiya not the Mamiya. I wish the Muji too. You know,
yeah.
point shoot 35 mil.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just sexy, bro. It's
is.
so easy. So that's
It
like
is.
my only kind of thing. It's
Mhm.
like, bam, bam. Hopefully, a couple of them are in focus, and it's
Yep.
just really juicy. But
Yeah.
other than that, it's like
Yeah.
it's like a different.
It's just a different thing. Like for
Yeah.
commercial work, like any paid work, I'm almost always doing digital. But film, since the challenge for me, since like photography is my passion, but also my career,
Yeah.
that's why I do shoot film. Is like when I'm traveling or with friends, and I just
Right.
want to like capture memories for the love of photography,
No, that
and not
sounds
really
valid.
worry about it or think about it. That's why I shoot with a Olympus XA2,
Nice.
like a little point and shoot.
Yeah.
I used to have a Contax T2. Well, I still did. I give it to.
Ooh.
You gave it to
I'm,
Kendall
I'm,
Jenner.
I'm giving it to my friend Bovin. I don't know if you guys know Bovin.
Bovin.
He's
No.
yeah, Bovin Ved, but I can't even remember if I gave it to him yet or I'm going to give it to him. But it's a little broken and he wants to work.
Because that
fix
will
it.
fetch a pretty penny on the black market.
Yeah, now I mean I remember I bought it like maybe 4 or 5 years ago for like $800, $700, $800.
man.
So now it's worth. I don't even know how much is it
my
worth now.
They're like
Lord.
1,500
Is it
now.
fit? So it's like
That's
double. Yeah.
crazy.
I would totally keep it, but it's a little wonky. Like
Yeah.
it just it annoys me because
Yeah.
it'll work half the time and it won't work.
Yeah,
good.
that's
and that's the
annoying.
thing about film cameras.
Yeah.
They're like old cars a
Mhm.
lot of times. You got to be able to tinker with it and make sure it works. And that's
Chris,
the beauty
I
of
mean,
it.
what
so.
happened with you?
I mean, I've gotten like 4 cameras from eBay, and then like I'll do one roll, and then they just stop working.
Yeah.
And it's just like
Yeah, literally.
it's crazy.
you've
I
been
have
here.
the worst luck ever. I love shooting film, and I love it.
Yeah.
Like I can't win, and now I'm taking a break. I'll get back
Yeah.
into it.
I feel you. When it works, it's incredible,
Yeah.
but it's not as trustworthy as my Sony A1.
No, 100%.
Do clients ever ask for film stuff?
Not really.
Yeah.
No.
No, especially
Not
yours.
for me. Yeah.
And like, all right, this is because I want to keep going. I love the chronological order. It helps my
Yeah.
brain. So SVA want to do photography, but were you doing like dark rooms? You're doing like you're learning film development, or is it more like what is a film major? I know kids, I know homies. Girl was on here as a film major, but like, what does that entail?
being a film major, like
Yeah.
filmography, not
Yeah,
like
or
film
photo.
photography.
Excuse me. Sorry,
Oh, yeah,
my
yeah.
bad.
No, you're cool.
We
So,
just got
yeah,
on a
so I
film
majored.
trip.
Yeah, so I majored in photography at
Yes,
SVA.
photography.
What that entailed was, I think the most valuable things I took away from college are one, how to handle a critique and how to do a critique,
Mm.
which is in general as an artist, it's really really helpful to grow. Because you wanna get other eyes on your work and have actual feedback from people that I mean, it's nice when people compliment your work and say it's sick, because like that's cool. But like
100%.
you also gotta be able to learn how to take that criticism and be able to put it to use. So
Yeah, same with the fine art world. 100%.
yeah, no, fine art,
Yeah.
art in general. That's
Mhm.
art school. That's like the best part
Mhm.
about it. Also, I think the community of artists that I met at SVA, and also the facilities to use, because printing, camera rentals, all studio space, all this stuff. It's like, yeah, top of the line. And
Yeah, you're not gonna get it anywhere else.
yeah. So
Or-
it's it's part of your tuition. Granted, it's expensive,
Valid.
but
yes.
it's all about the thing about art school. It's all about utilizing it, because anyone could go to art school if you have the money, and you could get a degree. You could just fly by. It's fine. You won't fail at it. It's very hard to fail at art school, but if you're gonna spend all that time and money and energy, you got to utilize everything they have to offer, between all those things that I just mentioned, as well as the connections through the school. So my first couple years of college, I I was pretty, I was partying. I was pretty lazy. I wasn't taking myself too seriously.
Yeah.
I was comparing myself to others a little bit, seeing other artists and how incredible they were, and I got a little discouraged. But then it wasn't until like end of sophomore, junior year, I really realized that I wanted to become a photographer, and I needed to. No one was gonna get me there. I had to like work myself and like, put in the work to.
And the fire under your ass came.
Yeah.
That's what I think what separates people, especially if you're at art school. I left it because it wasn't for me, but yeah, it's like the resources, like you said, you're not gonna get anywhere else, are there. And it's about just fucking using them and going ham and making things.
Yeah.
And I guess, I mean, I wasn't in your position, but I mean, I feel like art school is weirdly competitive in that sense. It's like everyone's there making stuff, but you need to somehow, rise to some sort of, not the top. I don't want it to sound like that, but maybe not.
Yeah, I think it's all about making it a healthy competition.
Yeah.
Because when it's a healthy competition and you want you could all grow together.
For sure.
And that's why my core friend group there, and in general, just everyone at SVA, like, yeah, it's all about you want to be the best version of yourself as an artist, and you want that for everyone else too.
And you're older than Henry, because Henry's a little youngin'. So
Henry's a little youngin', but it feels like we're the same age. It's crazy.
Everyone.
He's just a wise young man.
He is. Wait, but you weren't there at the same time. You just knew him through.
No, so
and you're like, leave, brother.
I can't even remember how I got connected with him, but I just I knew he went to SVA and he was a freshman, and I was like, yo, I went there too.
Right.
And
yeah, Henry's another mutual friend for people who are listening. I've actually only met him a few times, but he's Tom's main homie.
Great guy.
All right, cool. So post SVA, feeling good. Got a fire under your tuchus, maybe.
Fire under my tushy.
And like again, it's so because I know you make probably money through like your own branding and social media, and that's wonderful. Same with me now, but like from the jump, like there wasn't maybe opportunities then from social media. Like it's just clients and doing like more traditional industry shoots. So how does one dip their toes into that?
Yeah, so the timing for me was actually it was a little crazy. So I started working as an assistant for other photographers. There's this one day I sat down with my friend and we looked up 100 photographers that we looked up to and would like to work for. We got all their emails and we cold emailed all of them asking to work for them. And then from there, I started working. Most people didn't even respond, but from there, a couple people did respond, and then a couple people even hired me.
I see.
And so that was my first job as a photographer, was assisting other photographers as well as learning photographers photographed. Like between from actually taking a photo technically with lighting, etc., to the chemistry they built with their subjects. Because like portrait photography is my favorite thing. So that was my first job. But like I guess you're asking more so like as a photographer, like solo.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's like it's one of these like nebulous things. I feel like it's like man versus the world, and how do you get people to trust you? I don't know.
Well, speaking of a fire lit under my tuchus, which is that a Yiddish word? That's a Yiddish word.
I don't know. I feel like
right?
my mom said that all the time growing up. So
yeah, my mom definitely said that too. So right when I graduated college, I was still assisting, but all the free time I was going to school, I had all this free time, and I wanted to either keep assisting or do an assistant role that was more permanent, so I didn't have to worry about it as much while working on my personal work. And I got this job assisting at this studio that I won't name, but it's like this big studio in New York. And so I was gonna like stop assisting freelance and just like assist 3 days a week. It's steady. And I walked into my first day on the job at the studio, and they put me, my first task was to go in an elevator and just do elevator duty. Just click the buttons for the elevator for people
coming to the studio
that came in, which like that's not what I signed up for, you know? I signed up to like be an assistant. I have all this knowledge and like lighting and setting gear and like and like they had me in an elevator. So like I was doing it for like 15 minutes, and then I got pretty upset and I just walked out.
Hell yeah.
And then from that moment I was like, all right, I'm gonna actually be a photographer. Like I gotta do this. And so I kept freelance assisting other photographers while I like built up my personal portfolio. And the timing, to loop it back to what I was originally saying, the timing was good because this is also while social media started to
Right.
be a thing. I graduated college 2014. Instagram started in 2010, I guess, and like brands started by like a couple years later. Like
It was
3 or 4
household.
Yeah, it was a household thing.
Yeah.
And brands were starting to get on it and take it more seriously.
Right.
And that's how I started shooting. I started shooting like 4 brands for their Instagram.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then that's just an explosion. And it's so funny because we take it for granted, especially younger kids. It's just innate. But there was a time before that. You're a tad bit older than me. I'm 26, but it's
Yeah.
like there was a time when like that wasn't a thing. And I was actually thinking when I was coming up with like questions or just like a flow for this episode, like it's so interesting how like I'm trying to think of like how things work. Like the engine was built. This isn't going to be a tangent, so just please bear with me. But I think it's like medium interesting. Like the engine was built, then they made all these cars. But you can't just have a bunch of cars. You need like roads. So like that was like a huge infrastructure thing to make the technology of the car functional.
Yeah.
And so I feel like social media is the road version of the technology that is the smartphone, a computer that accesses the internet with a super good camera. And once those were made, then this platform of sharing the photos that everyone in their pocket has became a thing. And so like it almost seemed like it was like inevitable, like once the smartphone came out, that Instagram would be popular, or like this new world of advertisement was just explode. That's my tangent.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. And I also
Kind of good, right?
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, I like that analogy. And I also think, I don't know if we even want to get into this subject, but I think there's a similar revolution happening right now.
TikTok?
Well,
Oh,
with
what?
NFTs.
Oh, NFT. Totally.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's like that. I totally stole that also from someone. Like I watched like history podcasts, or like I'm just into history, and they were talking about how like even the Romans, like trade was just literally like monopolized by building roads, so it's easier. Blah blah blah, and then the Model T and roads. Anyways, but like it's so true, and so like you could kind of see those trends. I think you're totally right with NFTs, that maybe we can get to, but. Back to photos.
Yeah.
And social media, because it's awesome. And like, that's my job now, is literally just to be like a whore on social media, but a good one, I think. And like, there's a lot of like toxicity in social media, and it's kind of like low-key terrible, but it's also like, there's never been a better time to share your work, personally, to collaborate with people. And again, I want to go back to this thing, because like I know there's other people you've even had on this podcast, the guy that takes fashion photography. What's his name?
Watching New York.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like,
yeah, Johnny.
and like, isn't that so cool? It's like just like a window into, fashion on the streets in New York
It's
City.
so cool because it's like, for us New Yorkers, we see this all the time, and we just like, it's cool, but we don't like think twice of it. But like, to the rest of the world, like, they don't know what New York fashion looks like. New York is
100%.
a special place that so many people like dream of even coming to, and we all live here,
100%.
and we take it for granted. This is just like, he's like honing in on this one specific topic of how New York has the best fashion, and he photographs it really well, and like, it's so interesting. It's so simple and so interesting.
and so niche, but
Yeah.
again, it's like, it's just a window, and it's not paid. There's no like
Mhm.
malpractice of anything. It's just raw life. And that's what I think of you as for anything, pop culture, anything that's going on in the city. Obviously, maybe you have more specifics, but just how I thought, Chris, we were talking about this a while ago. Like when I started watching Casey Neistat in like 2017, I remember thinking like, wow, you could go back any day of the year and Casey's vlog, and you could kind of see what's up. You could see a glimpse into the city, like what's going on, the weather, the hustle and bustle. But that whole tangent was to talk about during COVID, you had those like amazing, I don't know what you would call them, mini projects, mini series, the rooftops, and then the quarantine cutie. And so can we talk about that? Because that's like a perfect, I think, culmination of the world.
Yeah, so I made some projects over quarantine. The one I'm most proud of is my rooftop series, because that's actually how the quarantine cutie thing happened.
Oh, okay.
Is because I was looking out my window. I've never lived alone in my life, but because of quarantine and right when it was all happening, my roommate at the time wanted to be with his family, so he like left for 4-5 months.
Yeah, wow.
And so I was alone in the apartment, and it was quarantine, so I wasn't leaving at all. And I'm a pretty outgoing
Going
social guy.
crazy.
And I was just stuck in my apartment and had all this free time. So I started making art. Yeah, so I noticed outside my window that
Yeah.
there's people starting to go up to their roofs like never before. Like sometimes I see people go on their roofs just to like tan or whatever, like
Yeah.
every once in a while.
Yeah,
Kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
But now this was like right after long winter. This was in March, right when it started to get really nice out. We were told to stay inside.
Absolute lockdown.
Lockdown. Times were the one place that you could go outside safely and responsibly was our rooftops. And like we weren't even told to like go out unless you're getting groceries, but even then you weren't.
Yeah, you didn't even want to low-key go outside. The world was ending. It's
but
like
the times were very uncertain, and the only luckily in our neighborhood, like almost everyone has rooftop access. Some more officially than others. Sometimes you got to climb up a fire escape or something. But everyone started going up to their roof and doing whatever activity they love, between playing music or yoga, working out, meditating, tanning, reading, whatever it was. And I saw all these people doing all these things, and it was like it was just celebrating how New Yorkers are so resilient, make the best of any situation.
Yeah.
So I started photographing it, and I created a series of tons of images of people doing these things. And
yeah,
it was one of those things. A lot of my projects, I don't like plan it out in advance, and then do it. Every once in a while I do, but it's mostly like I just see something, I notice something's happening that people are doing, and then right then I just start the project.
Yeah, I feel like that's. I mean, it would be almost you'd have to be a super genius or the one who started Corona to kind of plan that one out. But that's also when the best ideas come.
Yeah,
that was a bad joke, but but yeah, I mean, it's like right time, right place.
Yeah,
you see some pattern that's different, and it's so awesome, and it like got picked up. Like, I'm not trying to. You don't need to toot your horn, but I will. Like, a lot of people saw it. It was on New York Magazine. Like one of them, was that the right one?
Yep, New York Mag.
Like it was the guy with the cello, right?
Yep.
Or bass, standing bass. And it like is just like it's like a wonderful, quaint story. And like you said, I mean, was that like here's a side question. When you were doing that series, is the agenda to literally strictly just document, or did you have some sort of like narrative to say with that? Did it come after? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it kind of came as I was photographing the project. Came after. At first, I just started shooting it.
Right.
And at first, I didn't even think it was like I usually photograph things that bring people joy, or just like the positive note or a happy tone to it. And this was like the first time I was like shooting something, and at first I was like, "This is sad. I'm documenting COVID. I mean, I just feel like I should document this." But then it turned out this is like, this was the bright side of everything.
Right, resilience.
Like looking at the brighter picture. So,
all right, cool. Yeah.
But I didn't realize it at the time while I was shooting it. Like once I started shooting it a little bit, I realized like what the project was about.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And like this is way before I moved to the city, and I totally remember seeing it. Like it's so weird. It always happens. Like I was flipping through all of your stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, I freaking saw this. Like on my Discover.
Yeah.
This was even before I had TikTok. But yeah, I thought it was just such an awesome project.
Thank you.
And then Quarantine Cutie was born from that.
Yeah. So because I was looking out my window all the time, so that's when I noticed a cute girl across the street. So I started TikTok, even though I started TikTok 2020, January 2020. That was my New Year's resolution. I'm a big resolutions guy.
Wow.
Every year resolution. And it was to get on TikTok after I had a dozen friends be like, yo, including Henry, like, yo, you got to get on TikTok.
Right.
I think you'd like it. I think you might be good at it.
And you were finding lots of success on Instagram.
Yeah, I mean, Instagram was getting a little stale. Like, I was kind of stagnant there. Like, it's just where the growth isn't the same as like if you're trying to grow your page, get new people looking at your work.
Kind of plateau, perhaps.
Yeah, it's like it's hard to grow on Instagram.
But you have a big platform.
Yeah, and I like posting. I love Instagram. I like posting on Instagram, but like it doesn't have an algorithm. Well, unless you're posting on Reels now, because they really boost those. But TikTok, you could have no followers and just make interesting stuff, and you could get followers. You can't do that on other apps easily. TikTok's the best app to do that.
Totally.
So.
And so 2020 make the TikTok,
Hmm.
and this is just like a new series of content. You're like, oh, let's keep this,
Yeah. Well,
lockdown
before
vibes going.
before the quarantine cutie, this was like January. The lockdown happened in
Yeah,
March.
March.
So like before that, I was kind of warming up a little bit. I went in like open minded.
Mhm.
I was seeing what people were posting, and from there and from what I shoot, I like kind of combine them a little bit
Mhm.
to like tell a story on TikTok natively to the app, but also
Yeah,
something that I would
I've
do.
seen them, and they're great.
And thank you.
They're
And
little
so
stories of wonder.
yeah, it's all about storytelling on there.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, even though I have a background of knowing how like fancy cameras work. Like I like shooting with a fancy camera, I'm a Sony,
100%.
and I lighting, whatever. But like, you could just, I think iPhone, cell phone works best on TikTok.
Totally, and like the native stuff, people
Yeah.
I think like more. We
Yeah.
were talking about
Story's king.
Tom and Fritz were on this. We were talking about that. But yeah, it's the best. Like your videos and like Fritz and like we had Jordan on the podcast also.
Mhm.
Like it's just wonderful stories that is like such a unique new format for
Yeah.
strictly TikTok. And it's crazy.
Yeah, Jordans are
Yeah.
incredible. I
Sure.
saw you had Natalia on here too.
I love Natalia.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, literally Fritz like introduced me to like
Yeah.
the social media world, which is awesome.
Yeah,
Because
Fritz is the glue.
yeah, he's a little too sticky, I'd say. But no, and like they're so cool. And then Jordan's been drawing here. And I wasn't really in that world. I don't know. Were you, Chris? Like before, like I really wasn't even following TikTok before I kind of met all these people. And
Yeah,
were you the same kind of? I feel
No,
like?
I was. Yeah, I've seen everybody's stuff. I've pretty much seen it all.
Before even you moving to Brooklyn, like you
Yeah.
were. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So I was like hitting the face with that. I was like, hell yeah. And I'm trying to do it now, but it's hard. Anyways, moving forward. This might be a hot take, but
I like a hot take.
yeah, I was thinking about this. It's like a rational hot take, and I'm not married to the idea, but I think about this a lot. That like the photo is becoming obsolete. I mean, just coming from this TikTok reel thing, it's like, do you see perhaps? I mean, your life has been photography. Like 5 years from now, like, is there going to be a place for photos to live, or is it just going to be videos, or another word for a video, a clip?
Yeah.
A group of photos.
Dude, that's a great question, honestly, because how we inhale, consume, digest content.
Love it.
It's moving more and more towards video, towards short video, like short video, long video. Like, so even me, when I got on TikTok, what I realized is what I started doing on there is I love photography, and I think there will always be a place for photography, but it's becoming less and less.
Right.
And I revisited my old photo projects, and I would have like, because I was on Snapchat when I shot. I mean, I still am on Snapchat, but I would Snapchat or Instagram story, whatever it was, whatever project I was shooting, I probably had a video from whatever setting that was.
Yeah.
So I would, what I did to like turn my photography into a micro video that was more native to TikTok, Reels, etc., where we're all moving towards, is I would take a video and then put the photos on top of the video.
Yeah.
So that was my way of doing it. But
the blend.
But yeah, to answer your question, yes, everything's going more towards
Which
video.
is kind of sad.
More and more. Yeah.
Kind of crazy.
It's a little sad, but at the same time, like, I think one of the reasons I've found success in how I define success, which
100%.
is I'm happy what I'm doing and I'm making a living doing an artist, is I'm the type of person that I stay very open-minded to whatever's happening with how do I explain this? Sorry. Just like change in general.
100%.
I'm open-minded to it. So like, for example, I'm a photographer and or I'm on Instagram and I have success on Instagram and there's this new platform that comes out, TikTok, and it's like, this is like the same app. Why would I go to TikTok?
Yeah.
And I realized I didn't want to, but that's why it started to become more and more of a thing. And then 2020 happened, New Year's, and I was like, all right, you know what? I'll try TikTok. I don't want to, but I'll give it a try. Maybe something will happen.
Yeah.
And because I tried TikTok, I've gotten more opportunities because of that.
Totally.
Because even though I could have easily said no, like I didn't have to. No one was forcing me to, but I thought it could help me. You know, I'm trying something new. Maybe I'd grow as an artist, or maybe I'd get some new opportunities.
Yeah.
And
I mean, worst case scenario, try. We talk about it all the time. Like in this business, you have to diversify. You kind of have to be modular. You got to roll
Mhm.
with the punches. Things are changing so quick. Even for me,
Yeah.
just YouTube, like this is a bomb about to explode. Ignore that, the pipes. But
Yeah.
it's like everything's changing, and you will be left behind. Not strictly just a business sense. Again, if you're just doing it for fun, it's passion. But like you have to be modular. You have to change to the trends or the styles or the platforms, of course, obviously. And like even for YouTube,
Yeah, you don't have to.
yeah, you don't
But
have to. It would behoove you.
Yeah, it's like it's doing yourself a disservice a lot of times. Like for example,
Great way to say it.
photographer artists that choose not to be on social media, like that's totally fine. That's your choice. But at the same time, I mean, because as you mentioned, social media, it can be very toxic. But at the same time, it's a free thing to do.
Yeah.
Besides your time, and it's how a lot of people, if they want to see your portfolio, it's often not a portfolio in person. It's often not even your website. It's often, hey, what's your Instagram?
100%, dude.
So
100%.
yeah, so
You're
yeah.
so right. You don't need to do anything, but like if you, like, I don't want to sound like some like hardcore like success motivator, but like you need to know the game.
Yeah.
And if you're a photographer or a painter and you don't have social media, that's crazy.
You're just making your chances harder at getting work, and it's
Yeah.
possible to get work.
You're
while
right,
doing these things.
100%.
It's just like I just like putting myself as many eggs in baskets What's the saying? Yeah. I don't celebrate Easter, so I don't know these eggs in
No,
baskets
me
reference.
either.
So
I had eggs this morning though.
nice.
Yeah, and it was good. So what's
Cool.
your 2022 resolution? Big on
2012.
resolutions.
I am big on
I
resolutions.
like that. That means you're a what's the word? No.
Goal driven.
No, yes, but like where you stay strong, like you have resolution. There's another word for it. Like that. It starts with a V.
Valiance.
Yeah, like where you. All right. Well, maybe I'll think
get
of it
back
and we'll
to
cut
it.
it in. We'll put it on the screen if I get it. It's like where you execute on what you say you're gonna do.
Yeah.
What's the word? You know? Okay.
My New Year's resolution of 2022 was to just keep pushing P. And
Hell yeah.
I don't know. No. To be honest, I said I have a New Year's resolution every year. Some
Yeah.
years I don't really have them. This year, my New Year's resolution was I haven't been following. To be honest, if I'm
Okay.
being honest,
Well, we'll take that word off the
was-
screen now.
it
Then.
was just to like
Yeah.
get back on my exercise game.
Okay.
And,
Good.
like start exercising,
Good call.
but just haven't yet. I'm going to. But yeah, it hasn't started out that way. But I have been doing a dry January.
Good for you.
Besides one night.
Nice. That's good.
I drank one night.
Yeah.
Besides that, my friend's birthday. I
Yeah.
felt like
That's good. Good for
but
you.
yeah, I drink a lot, not like alcoholic or anything,
Yeah.
but I'm a social person. and
Totally. Me too.
here in New York, we drink a lot.
Yeah.
Like there's just like meet up at a
Super
bar,
enjoyable.
meeting, da. It's I enjoy drinking.
Yeah.
And I like to challenge myself sometimes. Just
Yeah,
cut
that's
it out
cool.
for a little bit.
I think I do too. And like, I think of resolutions all the time, but I hate, like, I remember growing up being like, oh, I'm not going to use the New Year's as the day. Like, I could make a resolution any day.
Yeah.
Start. But, mine's
Just for me, it's just easier to do it on New Year's.
it is because it's
just like
a huge,
yeah.
crux of time,
Yeah, but
change.
At the same time, it is true. It just takes more willpower to just do it on any day
Right.
of the year. I think.
Yeah.
There is also like a nice time at the end of the year. No one's doing anything. Everyone just kind of eats and take time off, and then it's nice to kind of start
Yeah.
the new year over.
Totally. Yeah, I think I was the biggest vegetable piece of shit, like, end of December. I mean, I got COVID, but, like, I took, like, the end of December off work. I was playing a bunch of Warzone. I was going out. I was just, like, I was a piece of shite. And so it's true. In January, I was like, let's get back to work.
Yeah.
Let's be the best version.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, that's cool. I want to talk about a couple, like, other of your projects, because I really like, because that's the point of this podcast, talk about work. I mean, we've been talking about like generic, like, themes of things, but specific like series I love. That's why I loved like Jordan's My Friends thing. But for you, one of the ones I loved was like, this is just a small one, also not, I'm sure you've done many, but like the city camping, and that was pre-COVID, right?
I gotta say, I love when I do things like this and people do a little bit of research and have some. Thank you for digging back a little
You're
bit.
welcome. It's not that much digging, but yeah,
I was wondering why there was that big ass shovel at your front door, but now I could get it. Okay, so
Because
Yeah,
context,
so my-
this,
yeah.
you know, context is important,
Yeah,
and
for
we'll
sure, for
hopefully
sure.
put the pictures up because it's just cool.
Yeah, so that was a project that I kind of want to revisit because I think I could shoot it better, but
I plan to continue this project fishing in a street puddle, hammocking in a subway,
Is that the
kayaking
caption
East
that I wrote?
River with a city backdrop.
it's just been on it's just been on the back burner. This is why I
Yeah.
like to I'm more of just like I like to see a project, I shoot it,
Mhm.
move on to the next.
Yep.
This one, like I sat on it for a little bit, I
Mm.
shot it, it didn't come out as good as I want, and then I was on to the next one, and then it just gets, So
Life happens.
life happens. And I haven't been as I don't know. This one takes like a lot of planning and stuff, and I would need some help and
Yeah,
like
logistics.
I don't know. Yeah, so my idea for this is concrete camping. At the time, the most popular forms of photography, genres of photography, were in the East Coast here. It was just photos in New York. It was a lot of the same photos too. It was like photo of this building from this perspective, this bridge from this perspective. It was like I saw a lot of resurfaced photos. It's like the same photo, just like different lighting, different time, different editing. And then same thing on the West Coast and like PDX, etc. It's like there's a lot of
Right.
camping photos.
Yeah.
This is what popular on Instagram. This is what thrived. It was like, the shot of you inside your tent, with your feet out, holding a coffee, or the shot
With
of
Mount Everest in the
yeah,
background.
the shot of your tent with the mountains in the background, or the specific view in the background, or the shot of you setting up a fireplace and it's like a fire with a beautiful background. Sometimes a product as well. 'Cause
Yeah.
you're using this product and the fires in the background. You're chilling with your friends.
Yeah.
It's like
Everyone's
it
seen
was
it.
like everyone's seen it and they're all like beautiful photos and stuff. But to me, like I'd see them and they wouldn't. A lot of these photos wouldn't be saying too much to me, but it's what people liked, and a lot of people on Instagram looking at these photos, it's a pretty picture, and that's what you like because there's not that much emotion in there, and I don't know, there's like photographers that shoot portraits, it won't get as many likes unless you like know that person or it's like a celebrity that you can
Right.
relate to. But if it's like a really cool portrait, and you don't know that person, it's not gonna resonate with as many people. Anyways, I'm going into this a little bit too far.
No, please.
So my idea for this project, concrete camping, is I decided to combine these two genres together, and I brought them together, concrete camping. So I camped in the city.
Mhm.
Got someone to model. I got a tent. I got this and that. I have a shot. Like roasting marshmallows over
Yeah.
like a steamy
Yeah, I love that. Sewer
vents
drain.
in the city.
Yeah.
I brought this tent to like the middle of the Brooklyn Bridge
Yep.
at sunrise before getting yelled at by the police.
I was
or,
about to say, it looked like
patrol
people
there.
probably didn't like that.
Yeah, no, I
Just,
felt
like,
bad about that
running.
part. I felt bad about that part, but I did it for the
Get
photo,
the
and
shot,
it came out
yeah.
got the shot, got out of there.
Creative,
Yeah.
license.
Yeah, exactly. Then I wanted to do some like fishing. A lot of the other ideas I had for it, I didn't shoot yet. So I'm sitting on that project. I like that idea. I kind of wanted to like maybe pitch it at the time. I didn't know how this worked, but like pitch it to like some sort of camping company or like
Interesting.
Patagonia.
Yeah.
Is a company I love too.
100%. Yeah, I think it's just it's like the juxtaposition. And that's what's fun. And that was not like some brand deal. That was just your personal stuff. And is the most stuff on your Instagram personal stuff? I mean, I know you do little ads here, little
Yeah.
brand deals here and there, but like there's a pretty big separation between your like say like a big photo gig for like Nike. I know you've worked with like huge brands, and that's like you're not really allowed to repost that stuff, or you don't touch it on your personal Jerm Cohen account. That's like, so is it very
Yeah.
separate? That's maybe an interesting conversation. Like, do you double dip? Are there strict categories perhaps of like business, personal, also make money, personal, but
Yeah.
within the career
Yeah, it's
of
all-
making money?
So it's just life in general. It's all a balance.
Sure.
It's all a balance. So I don't want my whole feed to be sponsored posts, or else I put myself in a follower's shoes. I don't want to see someone posting all
Yeah.
like, but I also would like to see some of my favorite creators post. Ideally, it would be, a certain ratio, like maybe 60-40 or like 70-30 of that. Cause like some people do get like a little mad when they see their favorite creators post sponsored deals,
Mhm.
but like, how are we supposed to make money?
Dude.
We're putting in all this work for your
100%. You're
and
preaching
you
to
get
me,
to
man.
yeah.
When I
So
see my boys making money, I'm like, hell yeah.
that's why this this last year, the future, I think there's starting to be a revolution for creators where, even Instagram now is rolling out just paying creators based on views. TikTok already has the creator fund.
Yep.
There's Patreon, which you do, which is awesome. Just so many. What I love about being creators, you don't have to have like one source of income. You could get creative with it and like do different things. Even
new streams.
Yeah,
Got
totally.
it. Yeah, and it's like wonderful if you could build a little niche following or some sort of community and group, and then they want to support you.
Yeah,
they want to
absolutely.
buy prints or they want to buy your presets, or like it's like a way to communicate but help. It's like, oh, I'm a huge fan of Jeremy. I like how his photos look. I don't know if you do have presets or not. Did you? Maybe once, maybe not. But
no.
This is just an example. It's like, okay, I want to like kind of work like him. Let me buy his things that he made that helped him. It's a wonderful thing. That's a great thing about YouTube, actually, that I haven't found on Instagram, is the YouTube community, I think, is really great in terms of like, it's very personal. Just because you're doing like long form content or like vlogs or like, generally speaking, it's like more talking, a little more intimate.
Right.
And then
you feel like viewers feel like they're your friend. They feel like they're there in the room. And
yeah. And then I think it's really great. I think you get that on any platform, even TikTok, but I see it more on YouTube. But I think it's totally true. And it totally is a revolution. I mean, like, my younger sister just got a job for the people who hit you up to try to broker deals for like Instagram follow, like brand deals, and like they're doing with tiny creators.
Right.
And, tiny creators are making money now.
Yeah.
5,000 followers, 10,000. It's like
micro influencers, technical term.
I
think.
Yeah. No. So it's just amazing. It makes me excited, but it also is like, I want to talk about this with you because I think you like Natalia. Like Natalia was early to Instagram and like got this following and had this huge platform, but it's so saturated now. Like, what do you think about people getting into the game of anything, not just photography, which is your repertoire, but like, starting a business, or because it is so big, like the amount of people starting podcasts nowadays, or the amount of people.
I mean, it's cool because like it is so big, but there's more of a market for it now. There's so many things to do within the creator economy, whether it's actually being a creator for yourself, or being an assistant to your creator, helping like on a bigger creator if they have a team, or like even what your sister's doing. There's just so many jobs within it,
right,
that are being created.
Yeah, I just get so like bogged down by like the saturated nature of it, like
in what sense? In photography,
like even for this podcast, like me and Chris, like
right?
Chris,
There's a podcast are very,
and Chris manages another podcast that's like really awesome and great, and even the guy who was, we were talking to him, he was saying the same thing, like, oh, everyone's doing podcasts. Not that my mission is to be like make money through a podcast, but like you want it to be successful, you want it to grow, you want people to watch, and then things cost money, and so it's like, oh, like, is there even a hope and a chance? And I get down that rabbit hole, but it's the same for like YouTube. Like, even though I'm more established on YouTube, it's like you see other people getting some more views, and it's this comparison death hole trap of doom.
Yeah.
And it's like, why am I trying so hard when like there's a million of me out there, or there's like a million of these versions? But like you just said, which gives me hope, it's like, yes, there are that many more people coming to TikTok every day or making a podcast every day. There's that many more eyeballs and viewers coming also.
And it's I feel you. It's totally
that was an emotional rant.
No, you're cool. It's totally hard, but you're also a creator. I think one of the most important formulas for a creator doing what you do is like consistency, and you guys do that, right? You're like,
we try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. We took a break, but we're back.
So you're back. You're putting out high quality videos pretty often, and other content too. Also, just like think of all the things you have for your advantage. First of all, you guys seem like a power duo, making cool stuff together. You're in the best city in the world. Subjective, but I think so. You're around a lot of other amazing creators. Have a lot of access to things like in New York. Have the studio right here.
Right.
I think you have a lot of things going, and then all it takes, you're growing, but like all it could take is like, I don't know, maybe like one of your videos goes viral on TikTok and it cross platforms here, and then something goes viral. You have your eggs in all these different baskets. It could like something could happen, whether like maybe you get a shout out from a big creator and that brings a lot of audience, and then from those people it's like word of mouth, and then it just starts to grow and like
Music to
I
my
don't know.
ears.
I'm
No,
like,
you're right, and you're so much more positive, and
Yeah.
that's so happy. I need to like maybe that should be my resolution. But you're right. But it's just
Yeah.
easy. I don't know. I get sucked in the
No,
whole.
and it's not easy though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's not
Okay,
easy. If
thank
it was
you.
easy,
Thank you.
everyone would be
Yeah.
doing it. I'm just trying to. This is the this what I'm mentioning right now. Is
You're right.
just,
You're
like,
the angel
possible
on the
and-
shoulder.
Yeah, I'm the angel.
Yeah.
I'm like I don't know. I'm an optimist, honestly. So I just think of things these ways.
That's
and
good.
Just, manifest shit. Like right now, I'm manifesting that I get this new apartment.
Hell yeah! I was literally about to say that.
Oh, I
Yeah.
don't think the chances are I won't get it, but
When do you find out?
in the next couple of days.
Okay.
So
Speaking of the future, though, like, what you have anything in the works? Like, I like to ask people, especially artists who are making consistent work and, have something to show for. Do you have plans personally for like new projects, new series? Is there anything, other big gigs that are coming up that you would like to share? Because, again, I like context.
yeah, be honest, I don't. Right now. I'm in a phase where I'm focusing on a lot of client work,
Mm.
which is not as exciting as personal work. It's like it's great, but yeah. What am I looking forward to?
Are you
right
allowed
now?
to
I
share
have
the client work?
yeah.
Like,
I
you don't
mean,
have to be specifics, but I'm curious as to what that is.
sure. Well, this morning I shot a video
Okay.
for Amazon.
Hell yeah. That's sick.
At their in the city they have a new store called 4-Star, Amazon 4-Star,
Okay.
and it's like it's in Soho. It's like all of their products that are 4 stars or higher, and like
I see.
their best sellers of this and that.
That's
It's like
smart.
it's a fun store to walk through.
Yeah.
But so for their Instagram, they wanted some like TikTok reel type
Mhm.
content. So I shot a couple different videos there
Mhm.
this morning, and then was gonna come straight there from here, but had to run home first.
Yeah.
And,
Emergencies.
and then came straight here. So yeah, I shot that this morning. And then as for personal work, like a big focus of mine this year actually is I just turned 30,
Mm.
and I'm still close with a lot of my hometown friends, and it's mostly my hometown friends, but also some friends here.
Hometown in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Okay.
All my friends are getting married.
Wow.
And it's all so it was happening. It was a lot of the weddings were supposed to happen over COVID, and then a lot of my friends got engaged over COVID.
Wow.
So all the weddings are
An
happening.
onslaught.
Yeah, so I'm doing like this upcoming year. It's a lot of traveling, like, which is fun for weddings, and then gonna maybe maybe I'll shoot a personal project while I'm traveling.
I see.
A lot of destination weddings.
Yeah.
Uh,
You're not shooting like for these weddings. They're your homies.
No, yeah.
That would not be fun.
so
The
yeah, I don't-
pressure and just
wedding
you wanna-
photography, power to wedding photographers,
Mhm.
because I don't know how they do it. It's a lot of work mentally, physically,
Yeah.
staring at your computer, like
I see a
getting
lot of-
lots and lots of images.
It's interesting. I think there's a lot of content around wedding photography or videography, like on YouTube, on TikTok, and I've watched a lot just because I
Yeah.
think it's entertaining
Yeah.
and it seems extremely stressful.
Do you know Craig Adams?
Probably
familiar
like
with him?
I don't the name. I'm bad with names, but if
Yeah.
I saw the face of the videos, because I watch a lot, because I
Yeah.
think it's the production is just interesting. But
Yeah. So he was a wedding YouTuber
oh really?
and
I'm sure I've seen him.
filmmaker.
Yeah.
I think he just called it Wedding Film School, but he sold his channel.
Wow.
Because now he's a good friend of mine. He's an amazing YouTuber. He does hiking now and
Whoa.
trekking, traveling, minimal traveling.
And what do you
So-
mean sold the channel? Like
Well, he wanted it out of his. He didn't want anything to do with the weddings anymore, and
Wow.
he didn't want to just sit. You could
Yeah.
sell these things, I guess. So he sold the channel to someone who wanted to like do wedding filmmaking.
like
And his-
how to and like school.
Well, he sold
like,
the channel
instruction.
like so he got all the subscribers and
Mhm.
the page.
That's
yeah.
so interesting.
Yeah,
And he
that's the
wanted
thing.
out.
he wanted out,
Enough of the
Yeah.
weddings.
and he started his own YouTube channel and that.
That's
now.
pretty awesome.
And yeah, so really a really tranquil YouTuber, I would say, to watch his videos.
Hell yeah. Well, we'll have to look that
Yeah.
up.
I say I have no personal projects planned right now, but the way I just operate is
Yeah.
I bring my camera with me often,
Mhm.
most of the time, anywhere, and
Except
things
today,
I
you
just
son
see.
of a bitch.
Yeah, well, I was on my way with my camera, but I
Okay.
went home and
Yeah.
but yeah,
we don't have enough cameras here. Definitely
Yeah,
not.
there's enough cameras here. Yeah, sometimes I'm constantly inspired, especially in this city. So like something I'll just see and then boom, I'll start a project or start shooting some photos. So it's hard to plan. I don't plan a lot of them often in advance. Like I'm excited, for example, to shoot. I love shooting Easter in New York on Easter Sunday every year. Even though I don't even celebrate Easter, I'm Jewish, but it's so cool right in front of St. Patrick's Cathedral Church in the city, 57th Street or something. From 12 to 2 or some window like that every year. These people dress up and they DIY these huge hats, and it's like it's a friendly competition of who can make like the coolest hat, and they're gargantuan and like just over the top, literally. And people dress up, and it's always fun to shoot. I love people like taking portraits of people that express themselves like that.
I had no idea about that.
But then I wanna explore, like, what I love about photography is I love learning new thing about how the world works and culture, etc. Like I've never Groundhog Day is coming up in
February 2nd.
Yeah, so and it's in my home state, far away from where I grew up, but something like that, I would if I planned for it, I would love to like drive out to Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, and photograph Groundhog Phil and see and photograph the people that go there and explore and learn about this cultural moment through the lens of a camera.
That's so cool. And I was just thinking about like the city, because like you just mentioned that Easter thing, which is just so random and niche. I would never know, and probably 99.9% of the world wouldn't know unless there was like people like you who are just interested. But there's so many cool things like that, and that's what I always love. And that's when I like feel the like, oh, New York City's the best. Like I wish, like I missed, I don't know, I have a million examples. Like Fritz had a great video where there's this giant water balloon fight in Central Park. I was like, what the fuck? Like that looks so cool. Like I want to be there.
Yeah.
Like that's such a cool thing.
That
But
was
just
the
a random
side
day.
talk water balloon fight.
Yeah, and then there's other things like, I think Henry, I mean, I'm just shouting out the homies right now, did some aftermath of the ball drop in Times Square. Like, that's just cool as shit. Like, there's just all these epic events where there's so, like,
it's nonstop. We take it for granted.
We totally do.
So.
And it's nonstop random things, so many gathering. I mean, it's harder now with COVID, but it's not going to ever stop.
One of my favorite things is a week before Halloween every year is, I forget the technical name for it, but dogs dressed up in Halloween costumes. And like
that was the other one.
And it used to be Tompkins Square Park, and now it's like by the it's East River State Park, I think. Excuse me. And these people go so hard for their dogs. They like go over the top, like come up with the most creative costumes for their dog. It's like another thing. It's like a friendly competition, but it's so fun to photograph.
Yeah, you had a video on it, right? Like a TikTok also.
Yeah. It's
it's
amazing.
Yeah, it's just,
and there's just like things like that are just happening constantly in the city. Sometimes I know what's happening and I go there, and oftentimes I'm just walking around, biking around, and I just see something happening. And like,
yeah, it's worth the price that the city costs, an arm and a leg.
Yeah,
because it's the fucking melting pot of the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Do you ever do anything besides photography? Like, you have a pretty good visual language. And also something that I love to talk about is like lighting. You mentioned it a couple times in the beginning. Like, it's perfectly for me, again, to bring it back to me, context. Like painting, you need to understand like light and shadow, but like also photography, cinematography, like how to compose lighting or blah blah blah. Like it's different, but it's the same.
Right.
So like you have this visual. I think a lot of photographers do. Chris, 100% you too. Like a visual language. Do you do anything else?
I'm really into
open-ended question.
Yeah, I'm really into finger painting. No, I'm just kidding.
You've come to the right place.
Yeah. No. Yeah, that's not a bash against finger painters out there. I don't know why I thought of that. I feel like, when I first went to art school, I remember like my friends would make fun of me because they're like, "Oh yeah, he's majoring in finger painting."
Yeah.
And I was like, damn.
I said that also.
Yeah.
My friends were like, this hippy dippy kid is looking for Dragon Balls and like finger painting all his days away. I was like, well, that's kind of accurate.
Yeah.
That's kind of valid.
No, I love doing other creative outlets. I mean, photography and filmmaking are my two mains for sure. I'd say my other main creative outlet, honestly, is chess.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Which,
We were talking about that. Maybe we should
Dude,
run one.
Do we rock a quick game right here?
Wait, can we
and speed it up on the podcast so people don't have to listen to it?
Wait, should we play a 1 minute blitz game?
Sure.
Do you have? Is there an app?
Yeah, I have chess.com. I've never done a 1 minute blitz
No,
game.
we have to get the board.
No, I'll grab.
Yeah, we gotta get the board.
Oh,
I have a nice board.
I have a chess timer.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. A chess, like, can we do it
let's-
on the phone, or do you have one in your pocket?
I mean, I could set it up for one.
Yeah, we
1
should do
minute.
that.
I've never
Okay.
done that, but this sounds interesting.
Okay, that's crazy, dude. And you play.
Yeah, but chess is a combination of art and sport. It's like the
Dude, I'm so glad you brought that up
so.
because I really love chess. I was telling Jeremy how I watch streamers. It's so entertaining. The Botez twins,
Mhm.
Gotham Chess, Hikaru.
I should start watching.
Dude,
'cause
it's so entertaining.
I,
Whatever you want.
yeah,
You're the
surprise
guest.
me. I'm just
No,
however the board is faced. I could do either or. Okay, so
This is a little dusty. Excuse the
so
dust.
it's a 1 minute with a 2-second kickback timer, or just 1 minute.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, dude, I'm nervous. All right, let's do the kickback.
Okay.
Why not?
All right, ready?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay, I'm getting so nervous right here.
I love this game.
Yeah, it's great.
My first time playing chess on a podcast.
Dude, me too. You're telling me. I have a 140 BPM right now.
You also have 40 seconds left
Oh, God.
without the 1 in front of it.
Yeah. Jeez. Shite.
Yeah, you're-
Shite.
Cooking some time off the clock right here.
Okay, dude.
Woo.
Oh, yeah, that's not
Sorry.
good. No, it's fine.
I like to trash talk when I play a little
dude.
bit. I'm sorry.
I ain't no bitch. Jesus, dude. Oh, my gosh. I can't even think.
I didn't see that. Okay.
Oh, God, I'm running on the edge here, dude. Ah! I'm just looking for some kickback. Oh, shoot. Yeah, I had nothing there.
Check.
Oh, my God. This is
All
a
right,
lot.
ready?
Yeah, I got 4 seconds.
All right, ready and go.
Okay. Oh, God. Oh, God. No. Okay, that's it.
GG's.
Good game, dude. That was so fun. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Just got on a
Absolutely.
tangent, but this was so fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just a quick visit.
Real,
and-
down the street. I think it's exactly a mile away from where
Are
I
you
live,
serious?
so, yeah.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah.
I hope you don't get your apartment so we can hang more.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
For real.
You're
No,
good.
that's the thing. Like, I love. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
You know? Day by day.
Yeah. But
Um,
you're welcome anytime. And I always say to the homies, especially people with video, if you ever, need studio space or like
Damn,
getting weird,
Appreciate that.
literally anytime, man.
Cool.
We want more people in here.
Amazing.
Yeah. But thanks. And everyone should go check out Jeremy has a podcast. Ask Not Me Anything. And we didn't really talk about that. I should have, but just real quick, it's basically it's like crowdsourced questions.
Yeah.
And then
That's
you're
the-
basically the arbiter, which I think is a cool idea.
Yeah. That was the idea for the podcast, and just interview. Yeah, it's just like a lot of podcasts. It's all about interviewing interesting people
Yep.
that you find interesting. And so on that podcast, I wanted to do just that, but also, just do it a little bit differently. And
Mhm.
so the way I did it a little differently is not coming up with the questions myself, just asking
Yeah.
people what questions they want to ask that person.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
And it's basically like so like an AMA.
Yeah, it's an AMA.
Yeah. I love AMAs.
So it's like, instead of ask me anything, it's like ask not me
Mhm.
anything.
I get it now.
Yeah.
But yeah, follow that. And then obviously on TikTok and Instagram, where he posts a lot of his work, which is really awesome and epic. And you've probably seen it. You really have. If you're into like
Maybe.
New York City culture or
Yeah.
anything, you've definitely seen him around. You've probably seen the quarantine bubble cutie. But yeah, man, thanks.
Cool. Thanks for having me.
You bet.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
All right. See ya.